Hello everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ayu. And for those of you who do know me, my name is still Ayu. If I ask you a question, is it beneficial for you to study abroad? You may know the answer directly. Yes, it is. Then why do you still hesitate to study abroad? Is it because there are many requirements for studying abroad? Or is it because you are too afraid to try since there is a possibility for you to get rejected? Today, I want to ensure that study abroad will significantly impact your life and why you shouldn't miss that opportunity. Let's start with what is study abroad? Studying abroad simply means an educational program that you take in a foreign country. It is a life-changing experience that you learn from a new culture. Do you know about Maudi Ayunda? Maudi Ayunda is a beautiful actress and singer that has been accepted at Stanford University. In one of her interviews, Maudi Ayunda stated that studying abroad is the best way to teach you to be more independent. She said that she learned to do anything such as cooking, washing dishes, and how to do laundry by herself. She also learned to manage her time between college and work. I agree with her completely. I realized that studying abroad has a lot of benefits for us. Since senior high school, I have been interested in studying abroad. I have read several books and articles about it. Some of the books are Rentang Kisah by Gita Savitri, CKLN, or Jurus Kuliah ke Luar Negeri by Miftahuddin Arjuna, and Mantapu Jiwa by Jerome Pauline. I would recommend this book if you want to study abroad but don't know how to start. Recently, I also joined a webinar about how to get scholarship study abroad. So, the information that I'm going to share with you today comes mainly from the article, the book, and the webinar. It is important for you to know the advantages of study abroad and how we can study abroad. So, at the beginning of this speech, I will talk about the advantages of study abroad. Then, I will explain to you how we can study abroad through scholarship and self-funded. First, I'm going to talk about the advantages of study abroad. One of the advantages of study abroad is personal growth. Related to personal growth, based on a survey by the Institute for the International Education of Students or IES in 1992, one of the respondents, Caroline Faltos, said that in one semester I learned more about myself compared to 3.5 years in my home school because I have been studying, experiencing, and discovering a new community. The next point that I would like to explain to you is the benefit of study abroad in the field of education, based on the book entitled JKLN by Miftahuddin Arjuna. One of the interviewee, Rodian Gibran Sentanu, a graduate student from the University of Chiba in Japan, he explained that Japanese students are competitive, so if you have to study hard. Also, the lecturers are disciplined. It has a lot of risks. If you forget to submit your assignment within an hour, you are going to get a bad grade, or worse, you are going to fail in that class. Although it seemed difficult to study in Japan, on the other hand, Rodian stated that it's beneficial for you to study in Japan, particularly if you can speak Japanese. You can get a part-time job such as becoming a translator. So studying abroad will open up your career opportunities. Based on the book entitled Rentang Kisah by Gita Savitri, she explained that after staying in Germany for 7 years, she learned to see things from different perspectives. Also, being a Muslim in Germany is quite normal. They treat minorities equally. They also allow her to wear hijab and treat it like a normal piece of clothes. So, if you want to study in Germany or other countries, there is nothing to worry about. Lastly, mastering a second language. Mastering a second language. According to De Silvio and Donovan in 2016, they analyzed the improvement of oral fluency it, in second language learner during a semester abroad. The results show that the oral proficiency scores of second language learner Russian participants increased from pre-test to post-test because during their time in foreign countries, all the participants in the study stayed with the host family. Moreover, according to the book entitled JKN by Miftahuddin Arjuna, one of the interviewee, Putri Dina, a master degree student at Tsinghua University, she explains that at first she find it difficult to speak Chinese. However, by the time she stay in China, she finally can communicate with a Chinese people. The next point that I would like to explain to you is the way we can study abroad through scholarship and self-funded. This part is crucial because this is the gateway to study abroad. You should think whether you are going to study abroad with scholarship or with your own money. First, I'm going to talk about the way we can study abroad through scholarship. You might be wondering how to study abroad and get a scholarship. So there are several ways to get scholarship and there are a lot of institutions that provide scholarship. First of all, I'm going to explain about the kind of scholarship. Based on the book entitled JKLN by Miftahuddin Arjuna, there are two kinds of scholarship, fully funded scholarship and partial funded scholarship. In this speech, I will only explain about fully funded scholarship. So, this kind of scholarship will cover all of your needs while studying abroad unless there are some exceptions. So, you should check on their website carefully. So, there are a lot of institutions that provide scholarship such as Fulbright, Korean government scholarship, and then the German Academic Exchange Service and LPDB. I'm not going to explain all of the scholarship in detail because you can check on their website. Also, the requirements change all the time, so you should check it frequently. First of all, I'm going to explain about Fulbright. I believe that some of you are familiar with this scholarship, particularly if you want to study in the United States. This scholarship includes living costs, tuition fee, flight ticket, and health insurance. Overall, this scholarship covers anything. This scholarship is to pursue a master degree in the United States for 1 to 2 years in any field except medicine. If you are curious about this scholarship, you can check on their website. Before I explain the next part, I want to ask you, how many of you want to go to South Korea? Can you tell me the reason why you want to go to South Korea? I believe that there are a lot of good reasons, such as you are interested in their culture, educational system, work ethic, and etc. So, in this part, I'm going to explain about Korean government scholarship. So, this scholarship can be categorized as fully funded scholarship. It's almost similar to the previous example. However, this scholarship is not limited to a master's degree but also undergraduate degree and doctoral degree in South Korea. Lastly, I'm going to talk about a scholarship provided by LPDB. So, it is a fully funded scholarship from Indonesian Ministry of Finance for all of Indonesian citizens. Based on the webinar How to Get Scholarship Study Abroad, one of the speakers, Rahmat Adirianto, said that LPDB is the most generous scholarship because if you bring your family, you will get additional money. But if you get rejected after applying for scholarship, don't be upset and give up because scholarship is not the only way to study abroad. You can study without a scholarship. In this part, I'm going to explain how to study abroad without scholarship. Based on the book entitled JKLN by Miftahuddin Arjuna, there are several ways to study abroad without a scholarship such as getting student loan, part-time job, and working as translator. First, you can study abroad by getting a part-time job. When you get a letter acceptance from a university, you can pay your college tuition from part-time job. You might be wondering, is that possible? Yes, it is possible. You can be a teaching assistant, assistant librarian, and assistant professor. You can also get part-time job outside the campus such as become a cashier, writer, tutor, translator, waiter, and or waitress, etc. Next, another way you can get is getting a student loan. What is a student loan? According to Wikipedia, a student loan is kind of loan intended to help students for master program and associated fees such as books, supplies, and living costs. So, what makes a student loan different from another type of loan is you don't need to pay while you are still pursuing your study. Based on the information that I get from the book entitled JKLN by Miftahuddin Arjuna, you can start to pay off your debt when you already graduate from college and get a job. Usually, a student loan has been paid off after 10 to 20 years, so you don't have to worry about it while you are still pursuing your education. Do you know about Mary Rihanna? Yes, she can study at Nanyang Technological University by using a student loan provided by the government of Singapore. After she graduates, she has responsibility to repay her debt. It's around 200 million rupiah. Don't be afraid and discouraged. Because if you know about her and read one of her books, $1 Million Dream, you will know that study abroad is the important part of her life. Now she is a successful entrepreneur, writer, and motivator. Based on the book entitled JKLN by Miftahuddin Arjuna, one of the interviewee, a master degree student, Rodian, who studied in Japan and worked as a translator. He explained that he can pay his college tuition, living costs, and be able to umrah from the payment as translator. So, what do you think about Mary Rihanna's journey and Rodian's story? Isn't that inspiring? I hope that their story inspired you to study abroad, even though without a scholarship. Because if you have a strong willingness to study abroad, you must be there must be a way to solve your problem. In conclusion, there is no question of the increasing value of studying abroad. Moving to another country might be terrifying, but it can be also enjoyable. You learn different culture, language, and view of the world. It is also beneficial for your career and personal development. Moreover, the most important aspect of studying abroad is to get a higher education at the best university. This kind of opportunity that you can get from studying at local university. I leave you with this quote from Arabic proverb: "Seek education if it takes you to China." So we can imply that distance shouldn't be a problem to stop us seeking knowledge even as far as China. You shouldn't miss the opportunity to study abroad because who knows, your time abroad might become a life-changing experience that you won't forget. Before I close this speech, let's review what we have been discussing. So first, we have discussed the advantage of studying abroad. Then, we talk about how we can study abroad through scholarship and self-funding. I hope that this speech will inspire you to study abroad in the future. Thank you.